Can you imagine if you got a whole list of people, if your house is on Section 8 in California, and your niece is managing it, and pretty soon there's no Section 8 money coming in, and the woman don't pay no rent to stay in there for over 2 years and leave the place with, and leave everything there, of course. It's like people leave all their trucks and stuff outside. They left everything. I'm talking about right now, right? And it was $1,200, put the water on or something. Every time I go to California, I go have these big old buckets. I go across the street, fill up me some buckets of water. I said, I'm not paying it. That's just simple stuff. This stuff goes on all the time, every day. Yeah. And if I mention, if I'm living in the back, of this house, and it's my office, and somebody breaks in and they leave pork and stuff all in the refrigerator, just pork is there, and everything is thrown all over the place, 2-3 times in a row. And the last time, or the second to the last time, when they burglarized the house, first of all, the house is in the back. You got to come through a gate that makes noise to even get back there to that house. So everybody got to be in on it. They got to be in. That's what makes sense to me. Everybody got to be in on it. And then they take all your paperwork, and they take the duplicators, and they take the radios that you listen to all night, because if you listen to that stuff we're talking about, I listen to it all night. I go to bed with it on, and you just listen to it. So they take all the paperwork, everything that relates to the paperwork of the Masjid and everything, and the next month after that, Mukhtar went to Sacramento and got copies of her paperwork. He came to Sacramento State Capitol, and we're off to the races. It has to be cooperation between everybody. That means my sons did a good job. About 10 or 15 years, they're younger, they're just good guys. And they picked up on everything too. Say, yeah, Dad, that's a big word, brother, there. It's just true. My younger son, he was picking up on everything too. He said, Dad, that guy's the police. This one, he's 11 or 12 years old. I said, okay, you're right. But tell me, what is your system that you use? He said, well, when they get up to speak, I dress them up in a police uniform. If it fits, they're the police. I said, well, it's not the system I use, but it worked every time. I guess that the youth use that. I said, my goodness. So now, after they get old, now the police gonna be on their case. They're gonna break them down. They're gonna break them down with cutie pies, and then they're gonna be thinking, I'm smart, I'm good looking, man, that girl loves me. That's what they think it is. My poor oldest son, boy, he get, in California, they put pretty rims and everything on cars. He'd get his little stuff together every time he got his little ride together and was on the road, boop, off to jail he would go, every time. And you look at the dates when they would arrest both of them, is when we're gonna put them on the highway, because when we put them on the highway, they've traveled all around the country with me, and they would get brainwashed, listening to that same stuff over and over again. And pretty soon, when they get back to Oakland, they'd be sharp and clicking for a couple of weeks till that environment poison them again, right? So they wait, and they fill them with all type of drugs. And when my youngest son was on, when I say youngest, that means he's 50 years old now. That means my youngest son, he's on, be smoking that crack pipe. That destroys all your morals and ethics. That destroys all your morals and ethics. My best friend in the early 60s, when he became a heroin addict, the first house he broke into was his mother's house. You know, in those days, you couldn't, but how could so-and-so, JB is nickname, how could he break into his mother? I mean, you know, just think in those days, you didn't even lock doors because he wanted the TV, he wanted to go sell it to get some heroin, that's all. He loved his mother, but you take between heroin and love for mom gonna lose every time. At least 96% of the time, she gonna lose. So my youngest son right here, I got all our bills together, put them in an envelope. They were sitting down on the table. I came back, they was gone. My son was sitting on the porch down there. So I looked all around, and you know that green can was sitting out there. I went over to look in it, and he said, Dad, don't worry about that. I said, no, just... So I walked away, and he said it again. So then I looked. It was $976 in bills at that time. That's only the first part. So I looked at that brick can, and that's what it was. Had the turn addresses and the stamps. That was a while back, a long time ago. But it was still him. Why? He went back to California, he had to do an 8-year sentence. But if he could have did something out here, they'd have cut it down. That's all. That's the way that is. And any other family members, they have time. When I think about it, I do wonder, wonder how many other people could see. The government has 40 years. Now my family wasn't like that back in the day. Because we was all younger, we had, nobody, my niece had her first job there, at one of my places, all that stuff. And family was different. But when you get people that are older and they have 40 years to study each person, in 5, 10 years, they're gonna get them. That's the way that is. Okay? So, but they can't always go all the way. It's the law of large numbers. When everybody's the police, one or two is gonna slip through and drop you something. All you need is one or two. Drop you something every now and then. That's all. And that's natural. The law of large numbers, right? You can't corral people, they family, they grew up together, they like, this is our hero, right? And they may have you dead to rights. Oh, your taxes needs fixing. Oh, we can help with that. Oh, they're going to fish. That's what they do. They fish all day long. They got a whole crew of government workers. All they do is fish for snitches and tattletales. They do that all day long. That's what they do. Recruiting. So if you have a person on the team that don't bite no bait, first of all, they don't believe it. They're amazed. Oh, there ain't no nigga like that. They don't exist. Because they didn't create them. they don't exist. And then they don't believe in God. They don't believe in God, so they get confused. Right now, boss man is totally confused. He's a wreck. I'm not saying we caused it, but his program is a wreck. Everything he's doing is a wreck. It's just wreck. Finish. They always talk about Hitler, right? They got Bozo the Clown playing Adolf Hitler in the White House. The program is a mixture of Bozo the Clown and Adolf Hitler. The man's acceptance speech is 96% Adolf Hitler. I am here to defend Deutschland, the fatherland. I am here to defend America and make America great again. Adolf Hitler, 1933 and 34. 100%, 100%. 100%. In fact, that lecture I gave years ago on Hitlerianism. Right. I got calls on that. They say, yeah, man, that was all right.
Yeah, they like that a lot.
Yeah, they Hitlerianism. Hey, man, a mixture of Bozo the Clown. Y'all remember Bozo the Clown? Bozo the Clown and Adolf Hitler. That's him. Strictly, I was trying to take this out. I said, this boy, I know he Adolf Hitler, but who else fits what he do? The man will stand in front of the crowd and say whatever come to him. Well, we got this here disease going around. Don't you worry, we're going to get a miracle. He don't even believe in God, right? He's a miracle. And the doctor, 55-year doctor, long people are saying, they don't call him a liar. They don't call him, not to his face, they just say, that vaccine and that, he just said it's going to be 3 months or so. And they said, maybe in a year or 18 months, at earliest, right? They don't say, Don, boy, I don't see why they don't just say, man, you a flat out liar. You just lying, man. That ain't possible. You know, what are you talking about? You scaring everybody to death. Then the clown, you know, the stock market. They tried to bring it back one day last week. It come back up, but they're still going down. The Democrats are talking this thing up so that the stock market, right? And the Democrats hope everybody dies so it'll be a bad reflection on me. I said, that's probably true, but you couldn't say it, stupid. You can't tell everybody, right, that the Democrats want you to have sure the Democrats want you to have a bad day, but that don't mean that they're going to sit at the clock waiting for counting the people that died, right? I mean, you know, they are still human beings, you know, some of them. So this thing is hilarious. I have gotten off course. Don't worry about that. Like Nixon said, I am not a crook. Remember old Dirty Dick? They didn't call him Dirty Dick. Tricky Dick, they should call him. Dirty Dick Sattler, that was George Foreman's trainer. Not trainer, but manager. I am not a crook. I didn't have sex with that woman. I said, these people are crazy. That's what my uncle, whatever her name was. And she's a country girl. She's saving the doggone dress with his sperm on it. Because it's an heirloom. Hey, look what I got. The man's crazy. Right? I mean, the people is, look, I mean, that's what, see.
Yeah, that's what they
that's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what's been done. That's what's happening all day. Just turn on the news. They do it. They wear a suit and tie. They look really presentable. But they are the stupidest people. How could global warming? Where's that? Oh, wise tale. Hell, what is it today? It's gonna be 70 to 80 degrees tomorrow. Hey, man. This winter has been so hot, right? It's unbelievable.
We done skipped winter, man.
It's ridiculous. What happened to the days, remember in winters when it would be sometime in D.C., I remember we had to, up there on 8th Street, man, we had to go to the store once a week. You got because you couldn't drive up there, and sometimes it was an experience just to get up there, snow, ice. Sometimes, man, I remember in '92, it snowed, then it rained, and then the wind come up and it had snow and ice mixed together, and you couldn't walk down them stairs. You couldn't, you would slide, you just slide. You just slide. We did it over here a couple of times. Dust, snow, whatever happened to snow? Or does it really exist? Is there something called snow? You have to go up north to find it, and you better go way up north, because it'll be gone. Can you imagine? And nobody's doing anything about it. Think about it. Not only our lives are in danger, but our children's lives are super in danger. When you talk about coral reefs that holds millions of fish, they heating up and turning white, they're just going away. And when you can find plastic all over, it don't make sense. We have to be successful in a hurry. I'm going to close with this. When I deal with Nigeria and California, I'm going to tell them I'm here to recruit you. I'm not here to prove that I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I said, that's absurd. That if you arrest the owner of a building and he's got the deed in his hand and all the other paperwork and the other guy don't have nothing, it's insanity. It's absurdity. And that's what I'm going to tell the jury. We are here to recruit you to help this place become a better world. And Oakland, I don't know, do you ever see any films about California and homelessness and all that?
Yep.
It ain't like here.
Yep.
It is homeless. And you would have passed, if you just came down the street, it would have been them campers and mobile homes and people living in them. And there's several on each block. I mean, and those shanty towns that they used to see in South Africa and other places, with the tin roof, and then maybe a blanket over there, and then something in between.
I just had a scary thought.
What's that?
Just the virus hitting that area, you know, with the homeless population.
Hey, Allah knows best about they was talking this morning about whether the virus was made up or what have you, and it don't follow the regular pattern.
Right.
Well, you wash your hands and you don't get it. If you cough, you got a better chance of not getting it than if you wash it. Stuff like that. And everybody know that the standard old virus, if you cough, washing your hands may be 5 or 10% of it.
Right.
But coughing, hey man, that's it. Not on this one. So whatever they say, we gotta get the world where it makes sense. That's what we have to do. We're thanking Allah in advance. What do we have to be thankful for? For being here right now, being here. So, super thankful. It ain't no like just I'm a little lightweight thankful. No, we're here to do what we have to do, and we're asking Allah to help us be a part of this global renaissance, so that we'll make America a good place, not America the great, but America the good. That will be shocking. But that's a pretty big job. A lot of people don't believe it can be done. They think the nafs of the human being is so strong that he'll just go low all this time. Like the Moors, they was always saying, So, well, I'm in the low. You know, if they was messing with homosexuals or drinking a little, they say, I'm in the low. I said, man, it was a guy, I'm gonna just stop here. It was a guy, when I was left from Florida and I was going to Lompoc Penitentiary in California, I came up to Tallahassee. Then in Atlanta, we met the DC crew that was coming from Lawton. And there was a guy, all of them, this is back in the 70s. This was hilarious. I knew brothers from DC, but see, in California, they was a little different. And anyway, we got on the bus and we stopped at Memphis, we stopped at all the penitentiary on the way to California. So we was at a penitentiary in Latuna. Latuna is in Anderson, New Mexico. You could see the Mexican border. Latuna, like the cactus. That means it was that close to Mexico. Anyway, so it was a pretty little white boy that was a sissy. And then the Mexican leader, it was his sissy, so a Cadillac popped I don't know if y'all ever heard it, Cadillac popped the guy in the eye, the Mexican. And so I said, Cadillac. The next day I was just telling him, I said, we're going to California. You know what they got in California? They got Mexicans up there. A lot of them. I said, that one is the leader of the Mexicans. He killed 2 federal agents. And he's going to be here the rest of, for a while. And you just popped him in the eye, and then I said, and you're going to California. And then that same night he gave me something that the Moors had wrote, from the Moorish Science Temple of America. It sounded great. I said, man, what is going on? What is going on? Then, when we got to California, it was unbelievable. I never seen nobody act like that in my life. So now I was friends with all the brothers from DC then. As soon as we got to California, now California, Lompoc, it was just changing from an FCI to a federal prison. Lompoc, California. It's South Central California. So